creations,
Wait, is that tentacles?
Taco Luca on the right there, as well as other fan representations on the left. Let's see, clockwise, Miko with her leek, Mako with her alcohol, and then that is Rin and Len with, I guess,
Orange and banana.
Orange and banana. And then finally, Kaito with his ice cream. And of course, it has also enjoyed commercial success. So first one I want to mention is piapro.jp. It's actually a website created by Krypton. And so it's a media site both for audio and art, not video I believe, for fan content. And they actually hold contests and whatnot throughout the year. Another site is guarantee.jp, which is also created by Krypton, which actually allows you to purchase and sell tracks on the site. And it's actually available, since it's digital, they actually offer it internationally. And then finally, commercial labels, such as Sony, carrying Supercell, publishing his album on their label. And you can actually buy that commercially under the Sony label. And then finally, there's compilation music CDs. Probably the most notable one is those made by the group known as Exit Tunes. The first compilation album was Vocaloid, which actually made #1 Oricon, which is their equivalent of our Billboard charts. So if you can imagine that hitting #1 sales as an album in the US, I mean, having basically what they call virtual idol actually grabbing the #1 spot in album sales is, I mean, a pretty huge feat. And the most recent, I mean, there's easily over a dozen albums released under this label, and the most recent one being Vocaloid Connection, which came out this month actually. And of course, Exit Tunes isn't the only publisher of Vocaloid albums. There's hundreds out there. And of course, we can't go without talking about the games. Project Diva is probably the most well-known one. It's released on PSP. It is a rhythm game, and it's actually gone since then to, they have an arcade version that is available in Japanese arcades, which is pretty much just a port of the PSP version. So where you have four directional keys and buttons on the PSP, the arcade machine actually just has 4 directional arrows and buttons on the panel. And of course, there are sequels to it, of course, Project Diva 2nd, and then Project Diva Extend, and then coming out for Vita is Project Diva F. And then finally, they actually added PS3 connectivity. What it does is that if you own a copy of Project Diva, you can download the software for the PS3, which lets you play it on the PS3. And it's pretty much the same game, except it's just rendered with much higher quality visuals and audio. And a recent development is actually Miku Flick, which is on the iPhone, available for the iPhone, which is another rhythm-based game. It's slightly different controls, but the interesting thing about it is that you can actually buy it on the American App Store. So this is an official product by Sega and Krypton, and they actually translate it to English. So if you have an iPhone, you can actually hop on the App Store and purchase this for your iPhone. And it's available in English with all the songs. It's really cool because it has full video for each of the songs. That's in high quality, but I guess the only drawback is that since it's video based, the download for the app itself, if I remember correctly, was like 700 megabytes or something like that. And I'm guessing like 90% of it is just video data. Of course, there's Black Rock Shooter, which, contrary to popular belief, is not Hatsune Miku or even an alter ego of Hatsune Miku. It is actually an original character drawn by Puke, who did the character designs also for Steins Gate, if I remember correctly, among other things. And the music was created after the art by Ryo, pretty much after seeing the art, and then it was animated animated and made into a short music video, which gained huge popularity, much so to the point that it got its own OAV release in 2010. And what season was it? Just this last summer for Black Rock Shooter anime?
Well, since
summer?
2012, so.
Yeah, 8 episodes released just over the summer season, so that's also a recent development as well. And then finally, we also have Miku Live, where they actually have concerts in actual concert halls. And the first one, so her first appearance was actually just as kind of like a short on-screen, so just on the display, not on stage, at Animelo in 2009. Followed by an appearance in Singapore. But then what happened in 2010 is actually they gave her her own concert, which is the one that was on stage. I guess they call it a holographic concert, but by definition it's not really a hologram. But it's a really good visual effect that they use to give the illusion of her standing on stage. And they held it on March 9th because it's 3-9. Which reads as Sankyu, or an alternate reading is actually Miku, reading the numbers. So it actually works both ways. So they call it so they kind of call it Thanksgiving Day in a way. And then this is actually a development from last week, which is Miku and Family Mart, or Famima, having a cross promotion where they actually have Miku specific goods, including the vegetable juice from Popico. They actually created vegetable juice just for this from Itoen. They have hachimeri meat buns. And then here in the back there's noodles. In front of that there's onigiri. There's cookies. Oh yeah, they have wheat bread. And Chanko, if you might recognize those designs, he's also another popular Miku artist. Alright, and Vocaloid goes global. So, of course, this at the same time as all this is going on, it has its own strong fan following in the US and elsewhere in the world. And what they discovered is that the American sales of the Vocaloid tracks on Guarantee.jp it actually rivals that of the sales domestically within Japan. So if you look here, we have the blue line, the dotted blue line represents Japanese sales, and the red line actually represents sales within the US. And so they're almost on par. So the US accounts for just about half of all the sales that this website makes, which is pretty amazing considering that it doesn't have any direct commercial promotion outside of the US, or outside of Japan, sorry. The first US screen debut happened in San Francisco. I actually was able to go to that event. It was pretty much all they did is they took the DVD of the first concert, the one that I mentioned earlier, the 3-9 concert, which is the Blu-ray represented here, and they actually just pretty much played it on the big screen in a theater. But that was the first time that has been done for Vocaloid, so that in itself is a milestone. And of course, in 2011, last year, there was the Corolla X Miku cross promotion in the US. This was kind of very low-key though, considering that the commercials were only, although they were played on TV, they were only played on TVs or on stations with an Asian audience. So the Korean-speaking channels, Chinese-speaking channels, Japanese-speaking channels, but none of the actual network TVs carried these.
Got on the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, she did have a Super Bowl ad as well. Yes, that's true. I stand corrected.
But that was it.
But yeah. Beyond that, it was there was really no other like promotion outside the limited market. But nonetheless, that was still very interesting to see that they would use Miku as a promotion for a major brand in the US. And then shortly after that was Anime Expo, when Anime Expo presented the Vicunopolis, which was a full concert, not unlike the March 9th concerts that they have in Japan. And they even have had Nico Nico, the Japanese site, also streamed it. And they have this feature not just for this concert, but other concerts where you can pay a fee to have it to watch it live